Shouldn't that be arriving yet? Sometime soon. God, I did that when... Maybe I did that because I was so annoyed about Asda overcharging it for it. Yeah, it'll do, I suppose. Road surface makes you feel like the car's going to come apart. What the hell? 7 times. I should have filmed it all like that. Oh well, it's from here then, isn't it? I must watch out for. Quite an old road service that bashed the car up to go at 40 up this hill. Or 50. And 38 seconds, I don't think so, not after this. Die. I think they were the slow one here, yeah. Just for the brightness properly, so that it over darkens it if it's bright light from the sun, but our eyes are much better at dealing with that. Whatever reason they are. So. Some things have got to have manual on camera, so focus is one thing. If you're trying to do insects or something, it's absolutely annoying. All it would take is a manual focus ring option or something, and you can say, well, I need to focus that and tune it myself into that tiny insect I'm trying to take a picture of or video. So, but on modern smartphones or these cameras, it's always autofocus, and it always gets it wrong on those small things. It's stupid. So it's called this one's called Hawarden. Hawarden, yeah. Hard about this. Hard. So I might as well video this route because I've got a splodge on the window I've not got rid of for ages, ruining a lot of the videos we've done. But I have to keep them anyway because I would be going back to those places, so just have to cope with it until I eventually go back again or whatever. So it's annoying, it can do it on the camera lens as well with fingers. I notice if you leave the house all flat for ages, dust goes everywhere, so things always go everywhere, and that's the problem. Get on things, I don't know where they come from, but they do. slow way into North Wales as well if you go through Corwen and all that. So there you go, tune in. I'm trying to listen to the 107 stream over tuning. Every time it drops out, it never retries it. But the app now has a driving mode on it, so you would have thought they would have thought of this. It's definitely true that internet radio for cars is not going to take up until you don't have to fiddle with the app to keep listening to the station. That's obviously, I mean, it's just like, it's pretty elementary. If you lose your mobile signal or you're trying to listen to the station from, and then the app doesn't even try it again automatically for you, that is no good for driving. It's not even good for walking or cycling, is it? So I have to suggest it to them that it's nonsense. I'd have to pull in there to do it. You're not allowed to fiddle with your mobile when you're driving. So you're victim to it. Doing that.
Salam and good evening to you. It's Saddam Hussein here.
We're
having a little thing that I like to call an election next week, aren't you? Well, good luck with that. You should at least learn to rig it like mine. You don't know who's going to get in. That's so unpredictable. But with mine, you could have all the fun of an election and the stability of having a supreme world leader who knows just how to take care of things without ever worrying that I would lose power. This is exactly what happened. And you can listen to the election special broadcast in order to listen to how that went. Well, what this is about is I'd like to leave you what I feel very, very grateful about. I'm dead, but I'm speaking to you from the afterlife, and I'm having a great laugh every day of all the things that have been going on since you executed me in 2006. Everything that we thought would happen did happen. My wonderful Sultan Kingdom of Iraq has been totally ruined by a bunch of idiots running loose, causing more mayhem 100-fold over even someone as mad as me would do. They're called ISIS. They have been absolutely brilliant. Because if they'd have been around in my day, and they were, I'd have chopped their heads off before they could chop yours off. But that's not what happened. You killed me, I was doing a good job. But now, they've run amok, even trashing ancient statues, before I would have got a chance to do it. I'd have just looted them and brought them back to the palace and stuck them down a basement. But they've reduced them to dust. Ancient statues in places like Mosul, the ancient city of Hatra. Well, you can certainly enjoy the history of those places, because they are history now. They're just gone forever.
Rubble.
And that's all because I died. And you, the West. Oh yes, we love the West in the Middle East. The only things that we like in the Middle East is the Middle East. We don't like anything Western, or you in the West. Because I am dead. The whole country now has been turned to rubble. So I hope you're proud of yourselves. And just to remember, whoever you vote in this election won't be able to, in a year of Sundays,
you're on the madness. Somehow that
bring order back to the Middle East.
How did that get there?
Their Western interference.
The forensic possibilities. Somebody's wound the window and chucked it out because they were raising shoes.
So he's probably a good choice.
Well, there was a shoe-related mishap when the boot was slightly open. The shoes were in the back and then went over a slight bump. Put the brakes on and the shoe flew out the back.
I'll just give you advice on every other candidate there. I've got nothing whatsoever to say about them. Have a good election.
Election 2015. Your only other choices are UKIP and Green Legs. Election hangover. Yeah, like that. That's how he feels. Because I'm going to feel dead from the neck up, politically speaking, when I have absolutely nothing to do following this Friday morning of bitterness. Yes, there you go. And to make matters worse, Friday is also the day in which Downing Street's bins get taken out, and with all the chaos that's been going on, we've forgotten to do it. So I've got to sort out all the recycling rubbish, because obviously David Cameron, already elated with his, what he's already calling his win, he's approaching those 316 seats. He's going to form a minority government with relish and love it. So I've been left to sort out the bins and all the recycling. I've never got the hangover, oh yes, over which things belong in which bin. As a result, I even got a £1,000 fine off Westminster Council when I got it wrong once. Because it was my fault, you see. All my fault. That I put a can of Fanta in with the paper by mistake. Worse still, some of my things have been put out with the recycling as well. And I forgot. And they went last week. I will miss some of the letters that I used to receive telling me what a great job I did. Well, that's what I hoped they would say. I daren't open them after a while. I used to get at least 100 letters a week, including some off Keith Ordinary Guy, if you've ever heard of him, telling me what a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant job that I was doing. I just didn't open them and actually read them, because I just couldn't face the actual contents. I just wanted to make up that I was receiving letters from a fan base. How many of you out there can actually say that you've got that, a fan base? Beyond your immediate friends and family, nobody knows who the heck you are. Well, at least Ed Miliband has become reasonably popular. Like him, yeah. This was his vision for the future. You always think
should he have got in?
Don't you? Well, I'm going this way. You could go that way to Wrexham, but I won't.
To become a PM, which is actually an anagram of MP. Did you know that? PM, MP. Fortunately, most of us are just lowly MPs, which is now all he will be as well.
You've seen a series of crises hitting our country. Who cares, as long as you get away with it? This summer's riots, the banking crisis, MPs' expenses, journalists hacking phones. Who cares? And that's what I want to talk to you about today.
Ed Miliband's rallying speech 2011.
I have a passion for politics. It is a fundamental part of who I am. I have been a politician all my life. I was born in politics, conceived in a seat in the House of Lords. In our something-for-nothing culture, I have never been afraid of hard work to get to where I am today. My first job involved getting less than the minimum wage that I was entitled to. In my first job, my duties was to feed a Siberian diplomat his vol-au-vents. Quite literally, the plate was on the floor, and I put them back in his mouth as he desired. And I think that our young generation should be prepared to do that, because it's the end. We're tired of those people who would take things from our society and just keep getting away with it. So I ask you this, economics, what is it? It's money, and it's the money we don't have, and it's money we're not spending, and it's jobs that we're not saving, and benefits we're not paying. But it is tax that we're collecting. That's economics. And if I am to be Prime Minister, the President, in 2015, well, I will be the biggest deliverer of economics that this country has ever had. If you give us New Labour another session in power, if you give us a new Parliament, we're going to borrow new money, more than we've ever borrowed before, to build a brand new economy. Although we can't afford it now, with just one vote for New Labour, we're going to have a brand new debt for Alice in Wonderland. That's the new politics.
Ed Miliband's rallying speech 2011 was written by AJ, starring the voice of Brian Seal as the voice of Ed Miliband. Election 2015. Your only other choices are UKIP and Green Flags. Election hangover. I don't want to speak ill of the politically dead, but that man is a prat. You know, he's been around here already coveting my room, and of course all of David Cameron's possessions. He was so confident of a win this morning that he brought along Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen to inspect the place. He was telling me he didn't want this and he didn't want that.
Changing rooms.
Yes, he's going to make it like changing rooms. That programme hasn't been on for a while. Ed Miliband, a modern leader, wants modern decor. Thinks the Tories are far too conservative inside their house. It actually looks like the set of Downton Abbey, that's what he said about this place. Well, you know, if you think that we're all the same as each other, then there is an alternative party and an alternative candidate that you could vote for. And that is absolutely nobody at all. As advocated by our next election night contributor. This was his party political broadcast to a school full of impressionable students in a small town in a Cheshire location. Her name is Mr. Peach. This apparently counts as a party political broadcast. I'm going to go and get another drink.
This is Peach's party political broadcast. On behalf of no party at all. This is a broadcast to urge you to vote for no one, and not to bother going out on May the 7th to a polling station. All politicians are the same. Their policies are exactly the same, minus a few words or two, and life is going to be as shit as normal. No matter who gets in. The government always gets in. So I called an assembly last week and told all of the students, well, just a handful who have still stayed over the age of 18 because they were that thick or they couldn't get into the college, not to bother voting. And to go home and tell their parents not to bother voting either. Nothing's going to change. We're still going to be massively over budget as the education budget gets reduced to that of an old library in an old Scottish Highland village that no one's gone into for the past 15 years. It's just pointless. Utterly pointless. I'd vote for anyone, if I did, who would keep me in this job for another year or so I can get another Ferrari. Replace my Super HD widescreen 3D with one that's 4K. Keep up with the Joneses and have a smartphone almost as long as my arm, with a camera that can accurately predict where the flag is on the moon. It's that many megapixels. Well, since no one can do that.
Heart smooth and excellent MFM studios.
I'd say vote for nobody at all. Interesting thoughts there, because a record number of youth are doing exactly that. Simply not going out and not registering their vote. That's how democracy works. If you've got nothing to say, nothing to contribute, and you don't think anything will ever change, you can play a part in that by doing nothing yourself. And then nothing will ever change, and you will have been a part of it as you've democratically selected that outcome. Now that is what is great about Britain today, that millions and millions are realising that by not taking part in the political process, they are shaping the future that we've all got to live in. Absolutely brilliant. Well, it's nearly the end of my time in this house. The bailiffs arrive at 6 AM. And I'm doing this last broadcast just to really show you at home what it's like to be a poor politician. I mean, sure, I have £150,000 a year, and I managed to save a lot of money, and I will live a life of opulence once I leave this rather luxurious and exquisite house. But when it comes to my soul and my existence and everything about my life, I am a deeply sad and totally boring individual. I deserve better. I deserve empathy and compassion. I deserve to be voted in. I deserve to be given a privileged position over you all. Because without that, I am nothing. Nothing at all. And because I've told you things about myself that makes me feel sad, told you that I'm feeling bad, you should feel very, very sorry for me. But you shouldn't think about all the people that I've been governing, because they have not done what I've done and tried to make something of their own lives. I've become a politician. I've got ambition. I've actually done something. Many of the other people have been affected by austerity and all the things that have been happening over the 5 years that I've absolutely loved being a part of. They're not the sort of upwardly mobile people you would feel sorry for. They are the makers of their own destiny, even if it is our laws and austerity that have caused their problems. They have not fought hard enough against it. They have not tried to better themselves, and therefore they deserve nothing at all. Don't mooch about feeling sorry for them. Make something of your own life, and you won't care about politics anymore. You'll be rich. And politics will care about you, because we will need your vote and your donations to our parties, particularly the Tories. Not me, because I'm supposedly in the middle. Well, this is some thoughts that I've had whilst I was in the bathroom. Take a listen.
So which party is better?
There's only one way to find out. Right, so now we're speaking to Nick Clegg, and he's feeling rather sad today because it is the last day in Parliament and also in Downing Street.